What's up, y'all? Let me tell you about the three most essential things for the marathon runner and the ultra marathon runner. All three of these things have to do with our feet. That's right. Starting from the bottom up, the obvious one first, let's get this out of the way. Your shoes are freaking important. I did not believe this when I first started running. Now, I've been a runner on and off since, I guess you could go back as far as middle school, but I really picked up the habit for the joy of it at the same time I was stopping smoking. Yeah, kids, don't be stupid. Just skip the smoking part and go straight to running, okay? But I did smoke for a little bit, and when I stopped doing that, back when I was in my 20s, I started running casually through neighborhoods. I remember being super excited about my first 7-mile run, and from there it was off to the races, literally. And I have been running ever since, picking up distance each year, kind of progressing. My first marathon was about 10 years ago. I think it was 10 years ago, now that I think about it. 2014, that seems about right. I'll have to fact check that. At any rate, shoes. I used to just buy average, perfectly good, but average shoes. Now today, it's a little bit harder to not get good shoes because there's so many fantastic brands out there making quality running shoes. But what you're going to want to do is not skimp on this. About 7 years ago, I took a leap from Brooks, which are good shoes. Don't throw anything at me. But I went from Brooks Adrenaline to Hoka Clifton. That was my first step into the maximal comfort, whatever thing that Hoka was really known for early on. And I absolutely loved it. I went for comfort over everything else. I had some foot pain going on with those Adrenalines after using a few pairs for about a year or so. I did run my first marathon in some Adrenalines that were sized up a size larger because I had some tendonitis stuff going on. But whatever. Shoes are super important. Now, I am currently going from Hoka to another brand, and I'm going to talk about that in another video because this is a big step for me. I've been using Hokas almost exclusively for the last 7 years. The shoes I'm going to lace up this morning, going out on the trails, are Hoka Speedgoat 4s. And the year's 2024. I've had these suckers for over 500 miles. They're about to expire, but I love them. And I'm not ready quite yet to replace them because I'm not hitting the trails as often as I need to these days. But we will be getting new trail shoes before the Barkley Fall Classic this year. So that's coming too. So number one, shoes. Find what works for you. And please just give yourself a $160 price limit. Don't say, hey, I gotta find shoes that are under $100 or under whatever amount that you want to spend. You're going to spend some serious money on shoes because you're literally going to be wearing these on every run, every footfall counts, etc. This is primarily the most important thing. If you don't get anything else, number one, buy good shoes for you and try out a bunch of different ones. You can go to your local shoe stores and figure out by fitting what you're going to be needing for your stride. Now, number two, and I'm going to speed this up because it's time to run. I've arrived at my destination. Number two are socks. I underestimated the importance of socks for a long time. Probably the last 5-6 years, I've gone almost exclusively dry max. This has been a decision for me that's made sense. I went from Belega, mostly almost all Belega, which are great, very comfortable, soft, to dry max when I started getting more into trail running because the dry max, shocker, they dry quickly. They're great at wicking moisture, and I absolutely love them. I haven't met a dry max I haven't loved. The Speedgoat trails that I'm currently using for some of my trail runs are almost a little too cushiony for me. I prefer for a sock to not have any cushion because I don't want it to hold any moisture if I get my feet wet. And even if I'm not running trails in the summertime, the feet are going to be wet. If you're like mine, they're going to be drenched. So I want that moisture to wick out and hold as little as possible. The Dry Max have lasted for forever as well. I do wear holes in the tips of the big toes. That's usually the first thing to go on the real thin ones. And then on the heels is the second place where it really takes a beating after quite a number of miles. They're worth the investment, highly like them, and I've got a couple other brands that I've only recently just been checking out that I'm very impressed with so far. I'm going to put many more miles on those before talking about them here, though. Dry Max, 100%. The third thing, and I've done a video on this already, and I'll probably do more, is inserts. So kind of goes hand in hand with the shoe. I will not wear aftermarket inserts anymore, though. They are that good for what I need them to do, for what I expect out of my running experience. And again, it's skewed a little bit towards trail, but only a little bit. And I'll tell you why. It has to do with the moisture. The inserts that come out of the factory with most of these shoes, they're fine, they're cushiony, they're flimsy, but they will hold water a little bit. Not a ton, but a little bit. And if you're especially getting into the longer distance trails and into ultra running and stuff, you don't want any water held in your shoe. That's why I'll never buy a waterproof shoe either. I don't want waterproof shoe because if water gets in, it can't get out. It's fine to protect it from getting in, but I mean, if you're stepping in a creek, it's going to get in the shoe. So inserts I use for the sake of keeping my feet dry, in addition to just removing that extra bit of, every millimeter counts. I use the carbon inserts by Superfeet, and hey, they're $60. It's expensive, but it's an investment that lasts, or it will outlast your pair of shoes. So you're going to get multiple pairs of shoes if you do it like me out of one pair of inserts, because you can just alternate them between whatever shoe you're lacing up that morning. And that's what I do. I roll with a pair of inserts for my trail shoes and then for my road shoes. And wherever I'm running, or whatever shoe I'm in that morning, I'll just pop it out of my last shoe and put it in there, and we're good to go. Comfort-wise, I did some experimenting with my latest pair of road shoes. I ran with the regular factory inserts recently for a little bit, and comfort-wise, they were great. They felt good. I felt like they had a little bit of extra cushion in them. It was, I'll just tell you, it's the Triumph 21 by Saucony. It's already a very cushioned shoe, and the inserts that came with it made it even more so. However, after doing that for a few weeks, I put the inserts in last week, and immediately I was like, oh, there's no extra comfort that is making a difference without the factory inserts. In fact, removing that cushion from the factory inserts, going back to the carbon inserts, really was more comfortable for me. It helped me feel the road a little bit more, and it removed those, like I said, extra millimeters. It's a small difference, but you can tell the difference when you're on your feet for miles and miles and miles. So I'm all in on inserts again. Never really been out on them. I was just experimenting with it almost on accident recently. So those are the three things. Super important. If you do nothing else, hey, this right here, don't worry about the shirt you're wearing. This is a race shirt from Strolling Jim this year. Most of my runs, I've got like one super nice shirt that I love on my longest runs and on my races that I've been wearing for years now. I think 3 years. It's a great shirt by Raidlight. Can't find it. It's a French company. I don't want to import them for like $50-$60 shipping. But that's the only like high-end shirt I own. Most of my shirts are just race shirts, which is fine. Go all in on your feet. Shoes, inserts, socks. And listen, I know that's a lot of money. Just count on 150 with shoes. Count on 60. So you're at 211 in shoes and inserts, and then count on a $20 pair of socks. So you're going to be spending $220, $230 all in on one outfit for your feet. But it's the most important investment you can make. I'm sold on it. I've been doing it for a long time now, and it really does make a difference if you find what works for you and just make the investment in your feet. And if you're got extra disposable income, yeah, go all in on your outfit and everything too. I can't afford it. I got to feed my kids, All right. If you like this, please like the channel, or subscribe to the channel rather, like the video. Appreciate everybody that's been watching. Let me know what you'd like to hear about next, and follow me along for my journey. Right now, it's June, end of June 2024. I've got a 3-hour marathon target date of September 1st, Barkley Fall Classic at the end of September, Firewater 100K in October, I think, and then my annual Boring 40 miler, on Black Friday. That's the stuff that's for sure on the calendar coming up. Follow along on the journey, training, and for race day action. Appreciate y'all. Bye.